Hello Enid, this is Jerald Gilbert, your city manager, and hey, I'm back for another rambling, freestyling session where I've just got some thoughts on my mind I wanted to share with you. It's probably only about 5 minutes worth, but I kind of like doing it. And I kind of like this format because if it gets too regimented for me, I'll probably stop doing it because that's extra work that I don't need. And so what's on my mind today is I just came from a great breakfast and a safety presentation from the PEOSH division of the Oklahoma Department of Labor. And Louise Nguano, our safety coordinator at the City of Enid, organized this and put this on for our city employees, and specifically our safety reps, which is a representative from each department. So safety is very important at the City of Enid. We want all of our employees to have a safe, comfortable, respectful workplace with which to do the people's work, and then be able to go home and enjoy their lives right here in Enid, Oklahoma. So it was a great presentation, and I thank Louise for putting that on in our very own Stride Bank Center. And it's fantastic, and I'd be remiss with not starting out by talking about that. Safety is very, very important. It's all of our jobs here at the City of Enid, and yours too in the public. So as summer season comes around, you should see some safety messages. Be careful, have fun, be careful, especially on motorcycles and around the water. All right, something else I've been thinking about as I was putting some thoughts together to come and visit with you about this morning. I wanted to talk about how important it is to buy local. When you buy local here in the City of Enid, you help all of our local businesses, and you help them by providing revenue for them, and you help the city by, through that revenue, paying your sales tax that is due on those purchases that you make. As you may or may not know, the City of Enid has only one source of revenue, for general revenue anyway, and that's sales tax. City sales tax, which is currently 4.25%. I know everybody pays 9.1 at the register here in the city. 4.25 comes to the city, and of course out of that, there's 2 pennies that are, 1 penny is dedicated for Call Lake, 1 penny is dedicated for capital items, 1/4% is dedicated for fire and police, public safety, and that leaves, I think, about 2% left that we typically say is a general uncommitted sales tax revenue. So buying local helps everybody. So it helps the merchants, it helps the city, and it helps you. And that money that comes back to the city is the same money that we use to fix roads, to fix parks, to support economic development, to support the Stride Bank Center, which provides great quality of life, and the library and parks. And so I just wanted to talk about that. And I also wanted to mention kind of buying local is very important on everything. But I kind of started was just thinking about cars today because I like cars like a lot of people. I like old cars and I like new cars. And so I gotta tell you that I enjoy visiting with our personnel from our local car dealerships, of which we have several. So you have a great assortment to choose from. So I know that I love seeing Scott Northcutt at Ambuc's meetings and such. I'll probably see him at noon today, visiting with him. I love going down and shooting the bull with Randy Ham downtown, Enid, Oklahoma, and talking with my favorite salesman down there, Joe Becerra. Joe is no ordinary Joe. He's a great guy, and his wife actually works for the City of Enid as our utility services manager. So, and of course we have a Honda place and a Chrysler Dodge place, and we have a GMC place, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm probably forgetting something here. It's not intentional. Just thinking about those things on my mind today. Buying local is very important. So I realized that retail is very important to the City of Enid and having some of the things we need. So I know one of the initiatives that the City of Enid works on is improving our retail environment and filling retail gaps. And we do this by working very closely with Lisa Powell and the Enid Regional Development Alliance and Ricky Hayes, who is a retail consultant who is under contract with ERDA. And we work together with the developers and the folks here in town that are getting things done and the folks from out of town. And we work very hard on your behalf to try and bring businesses here that support needs, gaps that we have. In fact, in the newspaper this morning, there's a great story about filling a gap with infill at the old Kmart building, where half of that has been redeveloped with a Tractor Supply and a Harbor Freight. And now ERDA has a great proposal that's been recommended from their board to the City Commission, that the City Commission will hear on Tuesday night in executive session, to do a sales tax rebate with a developer, the developer that owns the Kmart building, to put in a men's and women's clothing store into that department store, into that empty portion of the building. So that is fantastic news. That's great for the city. We all know that it's tough to find men's and women's clothing and other specialty items. We don't really have that department store now that we used to have with JCPenney and Dillard's being gone. So we think they'll be wildly successful, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing more about that soon. But that's how we tie in buy local. Well, we got to give you something too, because we realize a lot of those clothing purchases have occurred out of town, which benefits other cities, or online, which sometimes doesn't always benefit us with the sales tax coming back to us. So remember, buy local. I'm glad the economy is heating up. We've all been concerned about that. Material costs are way up. So what that means overall is business activity is good. So we want to ensure that as much of that business, we foster that business activity here in town. The best way to do it is to keep our dollars, as many of our dollars here as we can. And so the city's working in conjunction with the RDA to help fill some of those retail gaps. I want to talk about city employment. It's an issue for everybody, workforce. We need people. We need good employees, and the city of Enid is no exception. It's a great place to work here. So take a look at our job postings. If you've ever aspired to work for the city or want to work for the city, there's a variety of openings from executive assistants to groundskeepers to engineers to transit PR marketing staff, just about almost any variety of profession. We need them at the City of Enid. So take a look at those, and even if you don't see something, come in and visit with our Human Resources Department. We're always looking for good people. I want to mention our great city employees that are doing some fantastic things out there. Specifically, there was a water line break recently, a really big water line break, about 2 days ago in the Central and Walnut area. I appreciate the response of our folks. That leak was a very, very tiny leak, and then sometime around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening, I believe on Wednesday night, it became a complete main pipe break, and then a river is going down the street. So that is well in hand now. Repairs are going on. The street's close to being repaired. Those are city employees that answer the call at all times of the night, come out and fix those water line breaks, and I thank you for what you're doing. It is sometimes thankless work, but I see what you're doing, and I think the people that here in town paying attention do see what you're doing as well. Asphalt. We've talked about streets before. There's a lot of asphalt. I mean, hundreds of tons. Many hundreds of tons have been laid on the frontage road out on 81, north of Phillips up to State Highway 45. It's fantastic work. The crew is doing great. Ashley Humphreys, the supervisor, is doing a fantastic job. Everett Glenn, the Public Works Director, thank you, sir. And the people will thank you. Let's continue to lay asphalt there and then move to a different area. The folks are really going to see the benefit of that program as we get better and better at that. Thank you for your efforts there. And finally, Corey Buller. There's many people and departments to mention here. I'm just trying to mention a few. Many or all are worthy. Parks. It's summertime. So if you've noticed, there's a whole lot of mowing and trimming and repairing and things that go on in the park. And I think overall we're doing a really good job. And that's a direct result of Corey Buller and Michael Rhodes, his foreman, and all the great employees that he has in that department. We're getting ready to come up on a big celebration, July 4th. It's a big deal here in Enid, Oklahoma. We're a very patriotic community, and so we'll be popping firecrackers and playing. The orchestra will be playing patriotic songs there at the pavilion like they do every year. Thank you, Doug Newell, for that. There'll be a fishing derby that will continue this year to keep that tradition alive. It is on Sunday this year, so all the festivities will be on Sunday. And we hope that you'll get an opportunity to come out and watch that fireworks show, because it is a celebration. It has special meaning. Not only the independence of the country celebrated for, I don't know, 235 years. I'm not supposed to do public math, so I don't know how many years it's been, but it's been a lot. And it's also got a special meaning, at least for me now, because hopefully it's independence from COVID and moving on as we have such a, I think the community's done so well. And I don't even know how many cases we have in the community. It was 7 a few weeks ago, but I haven't heard a current count. I know that there's vaccinations for everybody. If you haven't gotten vaccinated, consider going out and getting vaccinated, because that's what it's really going to take to get to a place where we never have to worry about COVID again. So, speaking about Meadow Lake, the Kiwanis work very hard every year to open those rides in conjunction with city employees who help maintain the park and do some of the maintenance on some of the rides. I can report to you that the rides are going to be opening tonight, and they'll be open throughout the season on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Ferris wheel, which was down for all of last year, or most of last year anyway, is open. In fact, I was out there last night volunteering as a Kiwanian to help get it cleaned up and get it ready to go. And yours truly will be standing out there operating it, along with Dane Tate, one of the great communication staff here at the City of Enid, as we offer a Ferris wheel ride, probably for folks for the first time in about 2 years here at the City of Enid. So come on out. If you get in the Ferris wheel line, you'll see me and you'll see Dane and whoever else is there to help us. The train will be operating, and the little plane and car rides for the really little kids. We do have mechanical issues with the carousel, and it is down currently and will probably be down all season as we work to get it repaired. So good news is train, Ferris wheel, little planes, little cars be operating. Come on out tonight, play some miniature golf over there, get you some refreshments from the train stop concessions there or over at the golf concessions. There's disc golf there, there's fishing, there's just walking around. You can feed the geese, feed the ducks. Lots of great things to do. And you can check out the very newly completed low water crossing there at Meadow Lake Park. It's a beautiful sidewalk and crossing. Thanks to the vision of the Enid City Commission and a few people like former Commissioner Ezell and current Commissioner Jerry Allen, fantastic improvement, and the entire commission for voting for that. It was very expensive, but I think it's turned out very nice. I was out there yesterday, as I mentioned, and I saw lots of people using it, jogging and walking and pushing baby carts and people on scooters. It was fantastic. So that is quality of life in Enid, Oklahoma. And I'm going to leave you a teaser for a future episode of FREESTYLIN. One of the things I've thought about a lot, I grew up here in town, and I remember my aunt and uncle who lived out on Carrier Road. We would always go out there for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because in my little kid mind, back then I viewed them as the rich uncle and aunt. So it was great to go out for Christmas and get presents and things. But one of the things I remember from that house that's still there today, out on Highway 45, not far from Chisholm School, was a quote on the wall from a former president who is no longer with us, but that had made a famous speech that contained the words something to the effect, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And I think about that a lot here at the City of Enid as we work very hard to provide services and infrastructure for the citizens of Enid. And we appreciate the constructive feedback and the constructive criticism that we get that helps make us better at providing those services and infrastructure for the citizens. But I frequently think sometimes that if JFK had been a city manager, he would have said, or a mayor, he would have said, "Ask not what your city can do for you, but what you can do for your city." So be thinking about that. One of the things you could do for your city is join a civic club, and specifically help out the Kiwanis. You don't even have to join the club. We run the rides out there, and we need agencies or groups to partner with that want to do some fundraising to help us run those and provide those. Those are not run by the City of Enid. Those are run by volunteer groups that do a fantastic job. So with that, I probably talked for a long time, but once again, it's my show, so I get to set my own rules. And I want to leave you with really just the thought that you, just like me, are here and live here in Enid because we want to live here in Enid. And we want to live here in Enid because it's a great place to live. So I'm thankful that you're my neighbor, and I look forward to seeing you. And if you come out tonight, I will see you at the Ferris wheel. All right, Enid, have a great weekend, and I'm sure I'll see you next week.